Hey, Gundam Maniacs! Welcome to another episode of Gundam Explained. Today, tier list of all the shows and movies of Universal Century. It's my favorite. I love them all. I've seen them all. I have a lot to say, so let's get into it. Hey, but before we get started, if you haven't, please subscribe. If you think it's a cool video, give it a like, check links, subscribe for ways you can support the channel, even our Discord. We have a lot of fun there. It's cool. And then there's supporter stuff. That's really awesome with a whole bunch of supporter perks, behind-the-scenes videos, exclusive podcasts. But let's get going. All right, so how am I going to do this? Well, it's a little bit of... I'm going to go with this. B means it's fine. Nothing really wrong with it, but also it's not, like, extraordinary. A means, wow, that's actually pretty cool. Some pretty cool stuff going on. S means it is super badass. I'm going to go in order of release, too. All right, first, we've got the original Mobile Suit Gundam. And I love it. It was the first one I went through completely. I'm going to give it an A, not an S, but an A. I think the S would mean, okay, the A holds it back from being an S because while a lot of everything about it is awesome, there was a little bit of that original intent to sell toys, so some things had to get moved around a bit, so it's not 100% the original vision that Tomino had, but it's close enough and it changed people's lives. And again, I say, start with this. You might as well start with this. This contextualizes everything else in Gundam, even non-Universal Century stuff. Hey, start wherever you would like, but if you really want to know the definitive best idea that I guess is objective, is starting at the beginning where it all started anyway, and is what caused the rest to exist. Okay, I went on a tangent there. All right, next up, Zeta Gundam. This one, for me, is an easy S for spectacular. Basically, it's, look, the original Mobile Suit Gundam did so well that the studio turns around and is like, okay, yeah, as they're counting the money, yeah, do whatever you want. Go ahead and do whatever you want. So that's what we get. We get Gundam with the vision Tomino had, so there's a lot more mature themes going on. A lot of character motivations and story arcs are actually built out all the way. All right, next up, Double Zeta. This is one of those that I think the community is split on. I'm going to give it a B because you know what? It is just okay. And even though the beginning can be kind of a slog, it is actually giving us a lot of background on these characters that it does pay off in the end. Also, when it comes to just the Universal Century, there is a lot of important things that happen in Double Zeta that really, again, contextualizes and makes things like Unicorn that much better. All right, next up, Char's Counterattack. Well, this is just a movie, not a series. But I have some issues with it in general. It's like the pacing, some of the story elements, especially compared to what we got from Zeta and Double Zeta. Sometimes it's like, what? But you can, watch through Char's Counterattack and have a good time because it's just a movie, so you don't have to wait too long, and there's badass action in it. So this is where it's just fine because it doesn't do anything particularly amazing with Gundam, but it's enjoyable. All right, War in the Pocket. This one's getting an S for sad. I mean, it's not that many episodes. It's short. It's to the point. It's really all about the characters until the very end. But also, if you're a fan of Universal Century Gundam, the world is built out a whole lot in this. Yeah, this is when they introduced, the Kai variants, which were supposed to be redesigned units to be a little more modern. But really cool that later on they decided, no, those are just variations on known mobile suits, especially considering the time it takes place. It's very possible for there to be these late UC or late 1 Year War suits showing up. All right, coming up to F91. This is a movie, so because it's not a series, there wasn't enough time to build out the characters, and I think that's the biggest flaw because other than that, the animation is amazing. The designs of the mobile suits are amazing. That opening is probably one of the best openings in all of Gundam or any disaster movie or show scenario. It's just awesome. Everything about it is awesome except for the pacing and the story because a lot of that characterization has been truncated. For that, I'm going to give it an A. S if we got more about the characters, but other than that, it is a joy to watch. Like Char's Counterattack, it's a quick movie you can watch and get all your Gundamness out of it. But the animation in it itself and the music just elevates it just a little bit over Char's Counterattack. Actually, a lot. All right. Stardust Memory, another little short series. They call that OVA. Okay, so with this one, I do like it a lot. Just like all the other Universal Century, I like it a lot. Again, the time period it came out, it's like peak animation for that time, and I love the way it looks. The story is really cool, too, because it does add a lot of story, even for Zeta in the Titans. I think the only thing that keeps it from being S, really, that some of the character stuff isn't too compelling, especially with Nina, but other than that, I don't mind because it really has a lot of cool action. I'm going to give this an A. All right, Victory Gundam. What shall I say about this? I've only watched through it once, where these others I've watched multiple times, but I do like it. I love the music. The animation is fine, even though you can tell it's like a series style of budget animation versus a movie. And you know what? There's not too much to it because it's a late part of UC that doesn't have too much connected to the other stuff. I'm just going to give it a B because it's fine. I like it. I think the thing that really keeps it from being higher up is there's not much to the universe because we're kind of so far removed from that Xeon versus Federation struggle. That's kind of a different world in a way. So there's not really much connective tissue there. I mean, I really like the mobile suit design. I love the characters. So again, not the best animation, not too much context with early UC. I think it's just fine. All right, 8th MS team, currently doing commentaries for this. It's a supporter perk. I'll be releasing the commentaries. I've got episode 1 done so far, but this one is, I'm just going to go ahead and just throw it into A. Do I have much room for anything else? I'm going to have to make room. I would say it's not S because of how some of the main characters are drawn. It's really hard for me. And I know that could be something I need to get over. So I've recognized it, and I'm not weighing it as much. But like Shiro and Aina, their face, I really have a hard time connecting and really being pulled in by the characters. I don't know what it is, but other than that, the way it contextualizes, which the context word I think is the word of the day, but the way it contextualizes ground combat with the mechs, we've gone so far where space is a focal point, but now to really see the ground combat introduced, ground Gundams, ground type stuff, really cool story because again it takes place during the 1 year war, so we're seeing some on Earth stuff that's happening. I mean, show's an A. All right, MS Igloo. I'm going to count both of them. I mean, I've really watched them together, the short little series all thrown together. And I'll just quickly throw this in B. It's, I think the dated CGI kind of works against it slightly, even though, again, I don't want to use that as, I guess, weighing so much against my overall thoughts of it. So at the same time, they talk about some interesting, cool Universal Century lore that has to do specifically with Xeon. There's some Federation stuff in there, but it's very isolated and specific. So it doesn't always lead into the greater UC world, but it kind of does too. And you cannot ever watch it and still get a lot out of UC, but it adds some cool stuff to it. So I give it a B. All right, Unicorn. I love Unicorn, even though there are some things about it that I feel are just silly, overdone, but it just hits, you just watch it, and it's constantly pulling references from early Gundam, even Double Zeta. That's why it's so worth watching this. And you know what? I'm going to put it up at S, because here's the thing. I find the main character to be annoying, but this is really about the world and the universe. This is a love letter to Universal Century. And they go all out in this. It has everything you would want in Gundam. Even if they took out all the character stories and just had a quick one cut of all of the action scenes, your mind would be blown of how they do everything on here. Music's great also. It's just killer. All right, the origin. You know what? This is like the prequels of Star Wars, except it's not cringy. I think that's what helps this. Man, this is straddling S and A. I really don't know what to do with it because it's like literally perfect. I mean, I can't even think of anything bad about it. But I also feel like I would watch those other S's before I would watch the origin. No, I'm just going to throw it up in S. You deserve it. All right, not the best picture, but Thunderbolt. Where is this going to go? Where is this gonna go? Okay, you know what? This is an S. I feel like I'm giving too many S's, but I could literally watch. And this is both. This is Bandit Flower, December Sky put together. I could just watch them over and over, and there's not a complaint I think I have. Maybe sometimes when it gets really sad, about what happens with Daryl and then the girl, that whole thing. It's sometimes sad, and I want to skip ahead, but it's just a banger. All right, Twilight Axis. Yeah, I'm doing Twilight Axis. You guys didn't think I'd do that, but I did it. Okay, where am I going to put this? I'm just going to go ahead and throw it into B. Like it's fine. We could have had the release of the Gunpla without the animation, but we got the animation at least. Even if it's short, it's cool stuff. It's cool stuff. And it has some neat world building. It has a Gundam in it, so B. All right, this is a weird one. This is narrative, and I actually like narrative. I like what it does with Universal Century. I spoiled it, right? I'm putting it in C. Here's the thing. It has so much new type discussion where there's a lot of things happening not based around mobile suits. Because of that, I haven't watched it that often because there really is a lot of dead air that's really characterization, which is not a bad thing. But if you've watched it already and you go into it again, you're just kind of getting a lot of the same low-key stuff that's going on. So yeah, because of that, I'm not urged to watch it as much, even though I like a lot of the cool stuff in it. So, see. All right, Hathaway. Hey, this is going right into A. It's good, and it's elevated just a bit because it's a very well-done, mature-themed action movie that just happens to be animation. It even has a lot of cool Bond stuff. We're even following the bad guy, and it's not a Xeon bad guy. It's more of a terrorist, or just someone that is up against authority in general. So cool stuff going on. Can't wait for the sequels. Hathaway getting an A. All right, Cuckoo's Doan's Island. Where is this going to go? Where is this going to go? I don't know. It could be S or A, and here's what I'm thinking. I love it. I think it's such a well-done animation on all levels. It's like Disney quality production, and it's not that I don't expect them to do it. It's just that I'm glad to see them do that with like the original UC cast. I think because it's such an isolated story that within the greater UC, it's really hard to see everything going on. It's almost like an island. Oh. So for that, I'm going to give it an A because it is really good. It is really good. But again, I'm looking at like S, and it's like, if I'm sitting there like, do I want to watch Kookaroos? Do I want to watch Unicorn? I'd probably go to Unicorn. Do I want to watch Kookaroos? Do I want to watch Double or Zeta? I'd probably Double Zeta, yeah, maybe. No, but I don't know. Again, this tier list is of May 13th, 2023. All right, well, there you have it. Universal Century. There's still one more thing. Yeah, and I get it. There's little things here and there that have little animations. Oh, you added Twilight Axis. Why not Evolve, for instance? I don't know. No, this is what I'm going to do, but there's one more thing. Can you guess it? Okay, I'm put it in the comments if you know what I'm going to do right now. Right now, I am dropping in, that's right, our savior himself, the G-Savior movie. Where is this? Where is this? Even someone like me, where is this? I love G-Savior because of a lot of what it does. It's live action Gundam. It takes those vibes from Next Generation, the sci-fi TV shows from the 90s I remember watching with my dad. Look, it just has that look, and I find the acting to be charming. The main characters have fun, charming acting. It kind of makes it interesting the whole way if you're paying attention. If you want to look past where there's a lot of exposition, look past the bad CGI, there's a competent and fine film here. That's right, it's fine. I think it's a B. It's a legit, that is fine. There is nothing to G-Savior that makes it like, no, it is there. Although I'd rather watch Cuckoo's Doan's Island. Anyway, there you have it. If there's something that I didn't call out on this list that I should have, let me know, but you're probably wrong already. It's okay, though. But seriously, if there's something, let me know. But also, I'm curious what you think. Is there anything here that's like, why did you do that? Or is there anything like, oh, this is what I would do? I'm kind of curious. Again, this is all personal preference. This is what we think. This is what we believe is in our hearts. Our savior, the G Savior Gundam. No, I'm just joking. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. We'll talk later.